Yo, what's happening, people? Back again for another stream. Don't forget to smash the like button and don't forget to subscribe to my channel at Gav Goes In. So, obviously carrying on from the stream yesterday. Obviously, Euro 2024 is going to be coming up in Germany very, very soon. I believe we've got about about 20 days left, or probably a bit less than that. So yeah, just carrying on the edition of the possible team selection and the squads for the major teams that are going to be featuring in the European Championships, which brings us to Italy today. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to run through Italy's squad, and then I'm going to give you Italy's potential lineup. I think from what I've done so far, whether it be France, the England, which I've done yesterday, Portugal, Holland, I believe that I'll get a lot of them correct, to be honest, in terms of the team selection. So if we run through Italy's squad, so you've got PSG goalkeeper Gianluigi Donnarumma, Alex Meret, you got Guillermo Vicario from Tottenham, and then you've got Provedel, who I don't know too much about. And then if we go through the defense, you got Matteo Darmian from Inter Milan, Francesco Acerbi, experienced central defender, Napoli captain Giovanni Di Lorenzo, Alessandro Bastoni of Inter Milan, Fede Di Marco of Inter Milan, who's a very good player. Then you've got Roma's Gianluca Mancini, young Giorgio Scalvini from Atalanta, just won the Europa League. And then you've got Andrea Cambiaso, Buongiorno, who I don't really know too much about, Bellanova, and then Calafiori as part of the defense. For me, obviously, it's going to be quite simple as to who goes in goal, which I'm going to touch on in a minute. In terms of the defense, you've got a mixture of experience in there, youthfulness as well. I think you've got a good connection with Inter Milan in Francesco Acerbi, Matteo Darmian, Alessandro Bastoni, and Fede Di Marco, all Inter Milan defenders. So you'd expect the majority of them to be in the lineup. And then you've got the youngest out of all them, which is Scalvini, and then Roma's Mancini, who I think will start for them as well. If we move on to midfield, so we've got Inter Milan's Nicola Barella, so another Inter Milan player there. Jorginho from Arsenal, Brian Cristante from Roma, and Lorenzo Pellegrini, Roma's captains, in there as well. Then you've got Inter Milan's David Fratesi, Samuel Ricci, I believe, at Empoli. And then you've got Fagioli and Folorunsho, who I don't really know too much about. And then moving on to the forwards, you got Federico Chiesa from Juventus, Stefan El Shaarawy from Roma, Giacomo Raspadori from Napoli, Gianluca Scamacca from Atalanta, just won the Europa League as well. And then you've got Riccardo Orsolini, Matteo Retegui, and then Zaccagni, who I'm not too familiar with. So for me, just running through that Italy squad, I would possibly have to say it's probably one of the weakest squads Italy have had for years. I mean, obviously, there's no Marco Verratti in there either. I think Ciro Immobile is not in there as well. So Moise Kean left out. Willy Ginonto's not in there as well. So I'm quite surprised that some of the players that are not included. Yeah, but I think it's probably one of the weakest squads that Italy have had for a while. And my prediction for Italy, I think Italy would do well to get out of the group, if I'm honest. I think if they do get out of the group, depending on who they meet, I think it could be I think it could be the end of their participation in the tournament, because to me, it's not really a strong squad. But yeah, nonetheless, it's a team that I believe, might cause an upset. Because I think obviously, as we know, with Italians, they're very defensive. Always had a good defense throughout the years. But it'd be interesting to see how they match up. So I've gone for the team that I think that's going to play. As I mentioned with the Inter Milan connection, I've got 4 players from Inter Milan that I believe will play. And then I've got 3 from Roma, 1 from PSG, 1 from Napoli, 1 from Juventus, and 1 from Atalanta. So I believe Italy are going to line up with their captain, hugely experienced Gianluigi Donnarumma in goal. Obviously, coming off the back of winning the Liga at PSG. Donnarumma's been around for. I think Donnarumma made his debut when he was 15 or 16 for AC Milan. Obviously now at PSG, obviously say hugely experienced and will be leading them out in the summer. And then I've gone for a 3 at the back. So I've gone for in the middle of the 3 at the back. So I was debating between Scalvini, but I think Scalvini is quite young. So I think Francesco Acerbi will play as the centre back. So in the back 3, and then to the left of it, you've got Alessandro Bastoni. Bastoni, very good player. Obviously, adds balance to the defense, being left-footed. And then I've gone on the right side of the 3, Gianluca Mancini from Roma. I think that'll be their back 3: Mancini, Acerbi, and Bastoni. And then I think and then the 2 wing backs will be Fede Di Marco, who's a very good player at Inter Milan, sweet left foot. And then you've got Giovanni Di Lorenzo at Napoli. So I believe they'll play the wing back system, which means Darmian, Scalvini, and then you've got Buongiorno, Andrea Cambiaso, Bellanova, and Calafiori as the backup. So for me, that'll be their back 5. I'll be very surprised to see if it isn't. I think the only change, as I said, that you'll probably see is if they play Scalvini or Acerbi, but I can't see that happening. I know Acerbi. I think Acerbi might be 37, but obviously hugely experienced, and I think in terms of that back line, he'll be key. His experience there. Moving on to midfield, I think the midfield for me, it depends really, because it's 2 midfielders, and one of them is going to be Nicola Barella from Inter Milan. I think Barella's there. I think since Verratti's now not there anymore, Barella's obviously going to take over that mantle of being the main name in that midfield. And I think next to him, so Jorginho hasn't played enough football for me, and probably will be used how Arsenal have used him in terms of bringing him on to see out a game for that extra bit of defensive responsibility. You've got Brian Cristante at Roma, and then you've got David Fratesi. Samuel Rishi, Fagioli, and Falarunsho, I think, will be back up. So I've gone for Lorenzo Pellegrini, Roma captain. I think him and Barella, especially them playing a 3 at the back, I think him and Barella will be the 2 centre midfielders there. Equally, I think you could see a Cristante or even a Fratesi playing instead of Pellegrini in there. But I'm going to go for Pellegrini and Barella as the 2 central midfielders. And then the front 3, I think Gianluca Scamacca is going to be the main striker. I think he's definitely going to start. as a target man. Obviously, Europa League winner as well. And then on the left, I've got Federico Chiesa, who for me is their most dangerous attacker. So I think he'll play on the left. He could play on the right, but I think he might start off on the left. And then on the right, I've gone for Stefan El Shaarawy. I was thinking Raspadori, but Raspadori I think is more of a central striker, and I think Italy might play with that system, 3 up top. Players that, and 2 players, obviously 2 players out wide and the central striker. I think if they change the formation and play 2 up top, then I believe Raspadori will probably play with Scamacca. But I think as it stands, I think Chiesa and El Shaarawy will be off the flanks with Scamacca as the target man. And then you've got obviously Orsolini, Raspadori, as I mentioned, Matteo Retegui, and Zach Agni as the backup. For me, that lineup there, it's a decent lineup. I don't think it's a lineup that's going to win the Euros for sure. As I said, I think they should get out the group. But I think in terms of them going any further, yeah, it's going to be. It depends who they meet. I think if they meet a France or a Germany or even possibly an England, I think England could beat this team. Obviously, tournament football is what Italy do, but I think if they meet one of them teams, then I think Spain, I think it's game over for them, if I'm honest. But we'll have to wait and see. Yeah, guys, make sure you smash the like button. Make sure you subscribe to my channel at Gav Goes In. And if you guys got any feedback to give, or if you've got any players that you think should have been included in the squad, or you think that the lineup, there should be some players in or some players out, smash that in the chat or give your comments. And I'm going to catch you back at 2 o'clock. We're going to be looking at the Belgium squad that's just announced. I think Belgium have announced a 40-man squad. Obviously, that's going to be whittled down to 26. But I'm going to give you the squad and then give you the potential lineup for Belgium. So, yeah, make sure you join me, guys, at 2 o'clock. And I'll catch you guys in a bit. Take it easy.